Water uptake 8.2. Make sure that by the end of your studying you go back to the objectives and that you can fulfill them. Plants take water in from the soil through the root hairs. The root hairs are not necessarily the root hair cells. Root is into the main root, and what comes out of it, the branches, these are called root hairs. So the root hairs can be the root hair cells or a part of the root called the root hair. The root hair, or the part of the root that's called the root hair, is made of epidermis, root hair cells, and in the middle the vascular bundle. Also at the tip of any root hair you will find the root cap. Why do I need a root cap? Because the root, when it's growing, it's pushing soil, which is full of sand particles and hard particles. So the cells of the root need to be. That's why we have the root cap. And then the epidermis, these are the cells that are covering the outer surface of the root. And inside I have the vascular bundle, and we have the root cortex in the middle. Water moves inside the root by osmosis. Why? Because the water, or the pure water outside of the root, is less concentrated than the cytoplasm inside the root, because inside the cytoplasm there are dissolved minerals and salts and a lot of ingredients, or a lot of solutes inside. So the water will usually move from the high water potential, which is pure water, to the low water potential, which is the concentrated cytoplasm solution. So the water will keep moving inside the root. How does the water move in order to reach our hero here, the leaf? The water will keep moving from the soil into the root hair, and then into the root cortex, finally to the xylem. The xylem will take it up because the pressure at the top of the xylem is lowered, while the pressure down is high. So it will move from the high pressure to the low pressure. So it will be pushed up. It will keep being pushed up to reach finally the leaves. How does the water leave the plant afterwards? It leaves the plant by transpiration. By transpiration, which is the evaporation of water from plants. Through the stomata. Remember the stomata? We talked about the stomata before. So when the water reaches the leaf, where does it go? It goes to the mesophyll cells, spongy mesophyll and palisade mesophyll. Why? Because they are the ones responsible for photosynthesis. So let's revise the pathway of water again. Water was in the soil, and then it went into the root hair cell by osmosis, and then passed through the root cortex, reached the xylem, and then it was pushed upward because of the pressure difference, and reached the leaf, specifically the spongy mesophyll and the palisade mesophyll cells. Some of the water will be used for photosynthesis, and the excess water will diffuse out by transpiration through the stomata. Okay. Now let's answer some questions. In which order does the water pass through the cell of a plant as the water travels from the root to the leaf? The order that we just talked about: root hair, root cortex, xylem, and then mesophyll cells. The lower end of the plant stem is placed in water colored with red dye. After 3 hours, the stem is cut as shown in the diagram. Which labeled region is stained red? It's gonna be A, because as we said, the xylem is the one pointing in the middle, and this is the ring arrangement of the stem. Figure 9.1 is a transverse section of part of a young dichotomous plant. State the part of the plant from which this section has been cut. The part is the stem, obviously, because of the ring arrangement of the vascular bundle. Okay, so on figure 9.1, label the phloem tissue and the xylem tissue. Use label lines and the words xylem and phloem. So when he says use label lines, they have to be straight lines without arrowheads and using a pencil, of course. So here we go, xylem and phloem. The xylem is the one pointing inwards, while the phloem is the one at the outer end. Phloem and xylem are two types of tissue in plants. The figure 9.1 shows a section of a plant or through a plant stem A and a plant leaf in B. So here you have a plant stem and here you have a plant leaf. Label the phloem as P and the xylem as X on both A and B. So here you go. Again, the xylem is the one pointing to the middle or pointing to the center of the plant, while the phloem is the one at the sides or at the outer end. In the leaf, you have the xylem on top and the phloem at the bottom, as we agreed before. Describe two functions of the xylem. We said that the xylem transports water, transports minerals, and also supports the plant. So here we go, transports water, transports minerals, salts, and ions, and gives support to the soft tissue of the plant. Any two will get 1 mark each. Thank you, and I hope this video helps you study.